Hello plant community, thanks for tuning into this channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Pam, and for those of you that keep returning on a weekly basis and following me as I go along my planting journey, thank you so much for coming back. So I have a quick one, you guys. It's all about being part of a plant parent, the pitfalls that you may experience, as well as some successes. So today for you guys, I have a slight pitfall, and it is this baby right here. This is my variegated cast iron plant that has seen better days. Look how crispy the leaves are. And what I want to do, really, I really don't know what's going on with this plant. One of the things that I can actually say is that for the past few weeks, and it could be an error on my end as well, for the past few weeks I have not really been that helicopter parent, so to speak, as far as like really checking in on my plants, taking a look at its leaves, and maintaining the watering schedule and all of that, or paying attention to the plant to tell me when it's time for it to get a drink. And that's because I've been more or less just focusing a little bit more on self-care for the past few weeks, so I really have not had the time that I usually dedicate to my plant baby. So this could actually be a result of that. I'm really surprised because I know cast iron plants are supposed to be one of those unkillable plants. I also know that they adapt very well to all type of lighting situations, and they don't need that much of a drink, I believe. So I had it in what I felt like a prime location. It's sitting actually on the floor in my dining room, but it's getting, I would call it medium / bright indirect light. Now the majority of the light that it is getting, it is from artificial light, my fancy light that's over here, but it's in a prime location nonetheless. And I know that I have not been overwatering this plant. So what I want to do is I want to kind of downsize this pot. This pot is like in some type of a, I don't know what's a gallon. And I just want to take a look at the root system and actually see what's going on. Because I did buy this plant probably like 2 months ago or so, and I didn't do anything with the soil or anything, and I, just let it get acclimated in my home. But one of the things that I've learned in my past experiences, especially when I buy plants, is I do give it a couple of weeks for it to get acclimated, but typically after that, I do take a look at the soil, because sometimes the soil medium is not my preference, especially since I know that I can be a heavy waterer. I need to be in mind that my soil needs to have a lot of aeration in it. And sometimes what I've experienced, and y'all comment below and let me know if you experience the same thing. But some of the times when I go into the soil and I take a look at the roots, it's usually sometimes like those mesh plugs, and I've even come across where I've had the plastic plugs. And unfortunately the plant growers, they don't put tags on these plants to let us know exactly that's how they started growing these plants, so that we could be mindful that, we may need to take a look just to maintain the integrity of the plant. So we're just going to jump right into it. I have my tarp out right here, and what I did, you guys, as an extra measure for me, because this is a big gallon pot, and actually this is probably the biggest pot that I actually have in my home for all my planters. So it could be a little bit inexperienced in my part. Maybe I'm watering it too much. You see all the leaves, but it's also crisp, and maybe I'm not watering it enough. But I feel better that if I be able to actually look into the root system, maybe change the soil. I'm not sure, 100% sure, but we're just going to take a look and see. I know for a fact that I do want to downsize it, because as you can see, and maybe cut back on some of the roots, I'm not sure. I have cut me a trash bag in half, because some of the soil, it'll be an easier cleanup for me, as a little tip for you guys if y'all do that. But let's just get right into it and take a look. It's really dry. I didn't water it, but I want to show you something too that I noticed. You see that? It's a lot of roots growing out through these holes, so I don't know. I don't know if it's a root bound situation, you guys. I really don't know. And if y'all watch me actually do, it's very dry, a plant unboxing on this, y'all will know exactly where I got it from. And I've been on the fence because honestly, you guys, I'm not trying to throw shade, and I'm not even going to bring where I purchased these plants. But if you guys followed me with my plant haul, I did make a mention on where I got these plants from. I'm coming across an issue where not just this plant, but a couple of other plants that I happen to get from the same place are not doing well under my care. I'm not saying that, I'm a perfect plant parent and how dare a plant fail on me, but, I got to question it a little bit and take that in consideration. So I'm a little bit on the fence right now as far as whether or not if I will continue. Yeah, the soil is just coming out. Whether or not if I will just continue actually even buying plants from this place again, because I don't know, I've noticed I'm always having some kind of issue. And it's, in this day and age, we need to be really mindful of our spending habits, and it's equally important, that, you spend a lot of time and you invest money into these plants, and you do want them to thrive. Sometimes they're not always successful. They don't always, thrive under your conditions, and that's understandable. But when I keep getting the same different plants from the same place, and I'm always having a problem, that's the common denominator. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, the soil is really dry. It feels like it has sand in it a little bit. So I guess the aeration is kind of, I don't know if it's okay, because look, I just want to show y'all, see how rocked up it is? It's rocked up. And you want the soil to really be breathable. And sometimes it can rock up in a fist and be so dense till it's strangling the roots. Now the roots, from what I can see, I'm looking at it, looks pretty healthy though. I gotta admit that. So maybe I don't even know. I think another thing I'd like to do, you guys. Oh, I see a growing eye right here. I don't know if you see this little tip right there? That's an actual growing eye. So that gives me some hope. But another thing that I like to do when I ever make changes to the soil though, because you gotta think, when you get these plants from the growers or whatever the case is, there's a lot of nutrients still left in the soil. So I don't throw all the soil away. I kind of like repurpose it if I am able to. I may add a little bit more aeration to it. I think that's what I'm gonna do here, because the soil feels very, I don't know, it's just very dense. I don't know. Even though it has coarse sand in it, which is crazy. Y'all let me know, do y'all use sand in as y'all planting medium? And some of the roots are just really brittle and dry. I mean, the good part about it is not root rot, I would say. Now, some people probably would say all you had to do was cut it back. But I felt a little bit more comfortable, because I'm actually going to downsize it, you guys. Because this pot is a big pot. I'm keep it, of course, but it's a little bit out of my elements as far as me understanding completely water and energy ratio when you're dealing with this much soil. So maybe later, if I get another plant, or one of my plant babies in here is just really getting really big, vigorous roots, where I'll be able to use this. But for now, I feel comfortable if I kind of like downsize it anyway. And then I also need to, and I'm usually prepared. I can't believe I didn't even think about the scissors. So yeah, I need to take a look. Oh wow, it's really connected right here, as y'all can see. But sometimes no guts, no glory. I'm gonna have to break it up. At this point, I really don't have anything to lose, because it looks like it's like a lot of rhizomes, and I just need to clean it up and cut what I is no longer able to use. Put it in a smaller pot, aerate the soil, and just keep an eye on it, keep my fingers crossed. Will it be successful? Guys, I have no idea. Who has a book? Usually, I mean, thank goodness we do have a book on plants, but I'll look at caring for your plants like you do for your children. You don't have a book on the right way to go about it all the time. You just kind of like do your best. and hope for the best, you know, and pray along the way. But yeah, let me I need to get some scissors, so give me 1 second, because I'm actually gonna let me cut down these leaves and then see what we're working with at this point. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I have my sanitized shears, of course. Always remember to sanitize. I always usually sanitize them when I get finished. I put it in my storage bin, and so that way I don't have to worry about running around and finding my Clorox wipes or something like that. Or, you know, you can use peroxide or a small diluted form of, I actually use small diluted form of bleach as well, and wipe them off just to sanitize. But anyway, let's just start cutting off all of the yellow leaves. And you guys, I'm just a little disappointed here, but it's okay. Because you guys, if y'all watch me unbox this thing for y'all, you saw how excited I was. The plant came unbelievably larger than I had even expected, and it was a very good deal at the time. So yeah, I was really excited. So it's kind of a bummer a little bit. I mean, of course, y'all, you know, comment below, you guys. I'm gonna cut right here. Even though I'm seeing multiple, I guess, rhizomes or these growing eyes, where it looks like there's a possibility that something can grow from it. And we are approaching the growing season, thank goodness. So I'm hoping. I don't know. Y'all let me know if you have cast iron plants. Like I said, I thought this was going to be very easy care. Let me know what am I doing wrong here, because maybe it is just me. I was being real cautious, at least I thought, as far as not watering it that often. Maybe that's my downfall. Maybe needs a little bit more water than I think. You know, I always side on the air of caution and try not to overwater my plants, and so I'd rather them be thirsty than be drowning. But maybe because of the sandy soil, I need to, I don't know. I'm gonna cut this. Let's see. The rest of it looks kind of sad, but I want to kind of like, I'm gonna have to make it like a bushy. Not very many leaves left. But there's been many times where I've made something out of nothing, and I'm hoping that'll be the case here. I'm gonna take a chance. You ever get to that fork in the road with your plants as far as what you want to do, and you're like, oh my God, I hope I'm making the right choice. So that's where I'm at. I'm at that fork in the road where I'm debating whether or not if I should cut the middle part of this root system. It has a lot of roots, as you can see. I think if I cut it here, I don't think I'm gonna hurt it too much. I hope it's not the heart of the plant. You know, I always say, you guys, no guts, no glory, right? So let's just do that. Let's just bite the bullet. Or wait a minute. Maybe I don't have to cut it. Patience is a virtue. Oh wait, I do have to wait. Just gonna cut it right here, because I don't really. Yeah, let's cut it. Let's cut it. Just do it, Pam. Do it. Okay. So I separated this. Yeah, you know, I think, yeah, the soil or the roots, they just look dehydrated. So even if I was watering it, probably wasn't really getting to the roots like it should. And I'm going to use, like I said, I usually use, y'all let me know if y'all do the same thing too. When y'all transplant your plants, do you use some of the soil from the pot? I do that as a means of trying to help the plant get ease in its new environment without going through a complete shock. Now sometimes you just don't have, there's no way around it. The plant just goes through a shock, but you want to try to minimize the shock, in my personal opinion. So that's why I use the soil. And so I'm gonna use this. I think this is like a 8-inch pot. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think 8-inch, something like that. And I think it'll be fine. That way I can control the water. And I'm looking at the soil right here, seeing if I can salvage any of it. If I gotta really crumble it, but I would have to, let me look at the soil first of all. You know what, you guys, I might just, I don't know, yeah, I'm not gonna use this. I'm not gonna use any of it. I'll just come up with, do my mixture. So wasn't prepared for that either, so I'm so sorry. I really thought that I would be able to salvage the soil itself and actually just use the soil and probably aerate it, but it has a lot of sand in there. Comment below, let me know how y'all work with sand. Sand seems dense. But let me get my other planting soil and things like that. And I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Okay guys, so I am back with my potting soil, and I told you guys I did use black gold. I think was my alternative soil, but my first soil of choice, and I know a lot of people probably aren't a fan of it, it is Miracle Grow. It's what really is available in my area, as well as affordability. So, you know, I have to go with what's easy and a little bit more convenient for me. So I'm first adding a little bit of this cacti soil for Miracle Grow. I pretty much put it in a little bit with my planting medium, and then I use that regular soil as well. Now, I do add extra mediums, such as I've been using my clay pebbles as of recently. Also, of course, not to mention perlite, I do have pumice in my home as well. Pumice is one of those ones that you, only if you can afford it, because it can be a little bit pricey. I have perlite, and then I do, and I'm really starting to love adding the orchid bark. So I do add perlite and orchid bark because, like I said, I can be a heavy waterer, and I want to make sure that my plants are successful. And some of y'all may say, oh, she doesn't wear any gloves. Sometimes I wear gloves if I want to. Sometimes I wear gloves. I was going to say something, but I don't want to offend anybody. Really don't. Sometimes I wear gloves when I'm in the mood to wear gloves, but I really like feeling and being completely involved with what I'm doing when it comes to my plants. So majority of the times I don't wear my gloves. And I probably definitely would wear some gloves if I'm dealing with my cacti though, and some kind of a utensil so that I wouldn't get stuck. But I really love the orchid bark because it's really, I love the charcoal pieces that's in here. I don't know, it's just, I don't know. It's been a game changer for me. So, I mean, do you need all this stuff? No, you don't. You do not. So please, by all means, you know, do what you can to save your money as much as possible. And also, too, another tip, you guys, I don't know if y'all do this, but when you squeeze your soil and it's still in a clump ball, you know that it's not enough aeration in the soil. So you always want to, as far as me, that's what I do to test. I just squeeze to see if the moisture is going to flow through. And if it's breaking up like what y'all just see right here, it's pretty good. But I want to, I'm going to add just a little bit more orchid bark. I added, I kind of eye it, you know, so it's kind of hard sometimes when I tell someone the percentage to use. But I figure for me, I would probably have about 30 to 40% of the aeration, and then 60% of the soil. Sometimes I do 50 and 50 to make it easier, you know. And what that looks like over time, it's not like, for me, it's not what it looks like. Over time, it's actually what it feels like. So I mix it until I get it to a point where I feel like it's where it needs to be, if that makes sense. Yeah. But okay, so This is pretty good. I don't want to go too hard. It's a bummer though that I couldn't do anything with the soil, but I just I mean, it's just a little bit too rocky. Like, it's just a little bit too, I don't know. I don't like the soil. So, you know, and I have this that I'm putting in the bottom. This is one of those mesh. Now you can use pretty much anything around your house. Like, I do watch Carmen Whitehead, and she had a great idea with using your dryer sheets. And I do that as well. So you can use this, any kind of screening that you have. These was already pre-cut, like 4-inch diameters that I actually got from Amazon. But if you really want to save some money, use anything. If you have screening in your house, that'll be great. If you have cheesecloth, is actually a good option to use too, to actually put in the bottom. So anything that you may have in your home that's more like a strainer type of thing, go for it. So I usually put this at the bottom just to maintain. I'm putting a little bit of soil in there. I know it's a lot of roots, but these roots need to be hydrated, and they really do seem dry. But I'm glad it's all white. There's no mushiness in the leaves. I don't like the way this one looks. I'm just gonna cut it. And sometimes cutting your roots isn't a bad idea. Yeah, these things, it's just dry. I'm hoping I'm doing the right thing. Okay, there's multiple plants in here, and I wanted to separate it too, so I can give it a fighting chance. Make sure I get all this soil out of here as much as possible. You don't have to. I'm just like a little stickler with that. I don't even know why I am, but I don't know. I'm hoping to goodness this plant can come back. Talk to me, baby. I need you to talk to me. If you've been watching me, you know I can get downright silly sometimes, but you want to make your chores a little fun, a little entertaining. Otherwise, it would get boring as heck, in my personal opinion. Let me see. This right here. Wait a minute. There's something going on. This is not even attached. Yeah. It's not really attached to anything. You know, let's see. Yeah. I think I'm going to cut that down too. I'm hoping this will grow back. All this cutting back will activate something and say, hey, you know what you doing? And it'll show signs of life. Okay, so let me just sit it in the pot. Try to make it as full as possible. I don't know. I don't like the way it's looking before I the soil in here. You know, I'm probably saying, okay, I probably shouldn't do this, but making a mess on myself. It's nothing like trial and error. Sometimes you gotta push the envelope and see what works best for you, you know? So that's what I'm doing. I'm pushing the envelope. And yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, it should be in a larger pot, but I know it should not be in this pot. It's just way too much soil or whatever the case may be. If I see that it's not improving, maybe I'll up the pot size. But for now, I just feel a little bit more comfortable doing it in this size pot for some reason. Don't ask me why, guys. That's about your comfortability level. But y'all let me know. Wow. Y'all let me know if y'all have any, if you have a cast iron plant and you're experiencing any issues or what you've done to combat those issues, please comment below. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know exactly what you did. This is like a ICU situation or a plant CU. Trying intensive care. Always stamp it down. Don't look like much. You know, I could take a tape for aesthetic purposes. Let me just make sure I get the soil in here. For aesthetic reasons, I could take some of my Velcro tape and kind of tie it down at the bottom to pull it together to give it a bit, fuller, a better appearance, because it's like now it looks kind of floppy and it looks like it's all over the place. But yeah, I could do that, and maybe I will. So, it looks like, yeah, it looks sick a little bit, but we all don't look in the best of health until we do. So, I have a little thing you get from the dollar store to put it on top. And you know what, guys? I want to give it a spray. I think I'm going to spray it down first, just to clean the leaves. Give me a sec. Sorry. Okay, so now I'm back. I sprayed the plant down because I had it in the soil, and I was laying it around on top of this mat, and it was getting dirty. So I wanted to at least wash the leaves off. I got me some Velcro tape because I want to kind of tape it up a little bit, make it look a little bit more presentable, or pleasing to the eye, so to speak. Even though we could just appreciate our plants and just let them be. But just gonna tie it. Let's see. I wanted it to be held up a little bit. So I used a Velcro tape, which is pretty good. It doesn't really strangle your plants too much, so I can appreciate that. And yeah, so it's not really any pest issues. I'll just leave it like this. Wait a minute. Sometimes I can be so OCD with it to the point where sometimes that gets on my nerves. I wish I didn't have to. Everything doesn't have to be so perfect, Pam. Like, I get into that mode. Do y'all? Like, everything has to be just exactly perfect. The older I'm getting, I'm learning how to sometimes messy can be good, and to leave things alone or as is, and it tends to work itself out. At least that's what I've been learning or trying to adapt or teach myself. Each passing year, when we're blessed to see a birthday, we should actually celebrate the fact of what we learned in the year that we was alive. I mean, that's just, that could be corny. That's just me. Okay, I just put it up. It looks kind of crazy, but once I put it in the thing, no one's going to see it. So now I'm going to give it a nice good drink, because those roots were dry, guys. They were really dry. And I can see why. The soil was really dry. Do y'all check y'all soil when you first purchase a plant, or do you let it get acclimated first and then check a little bit? Or you say, okay, if you don't have any issues with your plants, you just leave them be? Or if you see that the soil is not something that you're used to using, you just get rid of it altogether and just go ahead and pot your babies up in something a little bit more common ground for you. I'm interested to hear. Let me know exactly what y'all do when you first bring your plants home, or a couple of weeks after you bring your plants home and they get acclimated. So I think I gave it a nice drink. Really trying to saturate it. Because I think the last time I actually watered this plant, it had to be, I don't know, like 3 weeks, possibly 4. Yeah. Okay, that's good. It's not coming through the pot yet. I usually like to let it drain, and I think I want to give it some more water, which I have down here. Told y'all before I use my gallon jugs, and I stopped with the fertilizer. So in about a week or so, I probably will start adding the fertilizer to my water and start watering my plants. Okay, there it is. That's what you want to look for. You want to look for that good drip drain. I wanted to look for that. And I have it sitting on my floor in my dining room, and I have it in this. Isn't this cute? I can't remember where I got this from. More than likely Marshalls or something. Marshalls really do have some nice things, you guys, for your plant decor, shelving and things like that. So yeah. So still dripping, which is cool. So I'm gonna let it drip in this soil since I'm getting rid of it. And I'm just gonna pour water out here. And it's kind of a little bit too big, but what I do is I just put this inside. That way I don't ever have to move my plant at all when I water it. And it's clear, you can't even really see it. And it's on the floor, nobody will ever notice it. And as my plant continues to drain, voila. So what do you think? I think it looks a little bit newer, a little bit more established, a little bit more alive. So that pretty much wraps this video up, you guys. I will probably put any updates that I come across. I'm going to keep an eye on it on a weekly basis. And I probably will put an update on my Instagram, so follow me there if you want to see what's going on there and any updates that I put up there. But that pretty much wraps up this video. Thank you so much for coming along. Thank you for following me along this plant journey. What I thought was going to be a short video turned out to be a little bit longer than I thought. But once again, you guys, that pretty much wraps it up because I can ramble on. Keep in mind, if you love foliage as much as I do and you love listening to planting things, subscribe to this channel, you guys. This is where it's at. Give those thumbs ups. I appreciate your support, you guys. Any kind of support that you can give me, if you want to share, if you feel like you need to, please, I appreciate that. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world, you guys. And until next time, much love. Bye.